Hello everyone, my name is Chance Sweeney. This is update number 3, I think, for Trials of Kal'Kuzak, my doing snapmap survival game mode, where you have cash that you can spend in between rounds, endless survival type of thing. But anyways, I have a lot of changes to go over in this update, so I'm going to pull up the change log here so we can talk about it. So there was a playtest too, so first I'm going to get to go over the changes that I did before the playtest. I renamed Wave to Trial and like the UI in the top left just for the sake of clarity, because I used the Wave event node for the actual like waves, but you can have multiple waves in each wave event, so I kind of just renamed it to Trial for the sake of clarity, and it also fits the theme better. I completed the big gun shop, so that's completed. Before in the last update, I had the set designing in there, and I already knew how much each gun was going to be, but I didn't actually have the functionality in there, so now that's in there. I added a locked door to every shop, so it's a little more immersive, whatever. The gun shop and the HAA shop, the healing armor ammo shop, open after the first wave. The equipment shop opens after the 5th wave, which could be changed, I don't know. I added the equipment shop. Right now it's in its bare bones form, so there's not any set designing. But I did add three different types of equipment to it. The siphon grenade, which is priced at 5,000, the frag grenade, which is priced at 4,000, and the ammo dispenser, which is priced at 5,000. I also increased the prices of the rocket and the super shotgun. Rocket is 6,000 now, super shotgun is 8,000. I still feel like players are getting this too early, and they're too strong, but I still got a lot of other things to think about as to why this kind of power creep is happening. I also added 5 more waves as well as a new stage. So now after the playtesting, there's a lot of things I noticed. The first thing we noticed was the game actually just completely ends after the first player dies, or after any player dies. So I wanted to make it so it needs to require all players to be dead for it to end in a loss, so that way I can give the surviving players a chance to like come back, and so if they beat the wave that their friend died on, then the player comes back, but they have a fresh loadout, so they have to buy weapons again. The wave fights are still kind of easy. I'm pretty sure I'm almost positive now that it's mostly due to the small room size. So usually in the other modules, the enemies are all spawning at once because the module is big, whereas in this really small room, the enemies are trying to spawn in that module, but they're taking up like a spawn queue, if that makes sense, so they're only spawning like a little bit at a time rather than all at once, like in these other ones. There's also, once again, there's still surplus of money in the later waves, so I'm considering increasing the cost of weapons again. I'm considering changing the glory kill cash multiplier from times 2 to 1.5, so you still get more cash for glory killing, but it's not as much. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this yet. And I'm going to change the ammo system in some way, because the ammo is really cheap, and you can basically just fill up on ammo really, really easily. Especially when you have a lot of weapons, you kind of just don't really ever run out of ammo. And I have some secrets I might be adding a little mystery box room and stuff towards the end of this project. If I have time, I'll be adding a bunch of secrets. Yeah, this is just one of them. There'll be others. So after the playtesting, I added a respawn system, and so I will actually show this off in the editor. So up here is the initial respawn system. So right here I have a players alive variable. This is initially set to 0, but and every time a player spawns in or is respawned, it'll add to that players alive variable. So this even includes in the initial spawn in when the game starts. So this will change to 2 once the game starts, and every time a player dies or kills himself, it'll subtract from this number. And then every time this number is changed, it'll do a test, and it'll compare this number to 0, and if it equals 0, it'll end the game in defeat. So since it only checks when it's changed on initial spawn in, players are perfectly fine, but if every player in the game dies, then it ends in defeat. So this is I thought this is a really genius way of fixing the issue I was having, because this will work for multiple players rather than just making it so it only works for like 2 players or 3 players or whatever. But also in each module, at the end of a wave, it will start an iteration for every player and it'll respawn. So this respawn only activates if someone's dead. So it's not gonna like respawn them with nothing. I still need to test. Like, I've tested this and it works, but I haven't tested it with multiple players. So I need to see if this still works with multiple players. I've added more to the equipment shop. I'll show that too. I've added more to the equipment shop. I'm gonna bring this up on my other screen. I've added more. So here's the equipment shop, just super bare bones at the moment. I've added the health dispenser, shield ball, Tesla rocket, all 5,000. So it's still bare bones. It's gonna need some more set designing. I've added a little additional set designing to the teleporter area. So another side has computers, so it looks a little more complete, and some GUI stuff. So that's all nice. I've revised the BFG altar, as you can see. I thought it was too tall, so I made it. I shortened it and added some skulls to it. I think it looks a lot better. I added the power core locking system to three different shops. So the big gun shop has one, the player upgrade shop has one, and the gun upgrade shop has one. So players will have to think about what store they're unlocking, even though like it doesn't really say which one, so they kind of have to discover that one. But each shop does have, I added to the locked thing what it requires to open. And yeah, and since we're over here, I've also added the gun mod shop. Right now it's also in its very, very bare bones state. The players can choose between, these are all the upgrades I have available. Unfortunately, I don't have both upgrades for the rocket launcher available, I don't have both upgrades for the Gauss cannon available, and I don't have both upgrades for the chain gun available, which sucks because the other chain gun upgrade is way better than the current one that is available. But the shotguns are priced at 10,000. The heavy AR and the plasma rifle ones are priced at 12,000. The rocket launcher one's priced at 20,000, and these two are priced at 40,000. And over here, so we have the upgrade shop. Over here, you can click this and it'll double your health pool. This will double your armor pool, and this will double your ammo reserve pool. All of these are priced at 10,000. Additionally, if you upgrade your health or your armor, it will increase the price of full healing and getting full armor or full health in the health armor ammo station. What else do we got here? So another thing I wanted to add too is, since we have this issue with ammo later on where we basically never run out of ammo because ammo is super cheap, I made it so every time a player purchases a weapon, it will increase the price of the it'll increase the price of the armor dispensary by 250 for every gun purchased. So the only things I still have to think about this, because it's going to affect the price for every player purchase. So if both players were to purchase all 6 of these guns, or like say, yeah, let's say if it's 2 player, if both players were to purchase all 6 of these guns and both of these guns, the total price of the ammo dispensary would be at 4,250, which is a lot. It's expensive, but. So, in order to make it feel less punishing, I could potentially... another thing, too, to think about is every time a player dies, since their loadout is reset, that price isn't reset. So, each additional gun they buy will keep increasing it. So, if they die and keep purchasing guns, it'll keep increasing, forever, essentially. So, to fix this, I could make it so every time a player respawns in, or spawns in, it cuts the price of that in half. I could do that. Alternatively, I could just give the variable for the ammo dispensary. Let's see. A max value. So it can max out. I can give it a max value, so maybe it'll just max out like 5,000 or whatever. I could do that as well. Or I could just leave it how it is, because given this change, it makes players think about what they have to purchase. And so they don't just purchase every gun willy-nilly so they have everything. It'll make them think more carefully about what guns they're purchasing, and they'll have to plan accordingly. So this will require more strategy and thinking, and this will lead to players only buying the necessary weapons. So I'm going to keep it how it is and then test it and see what happens, basically. But yeah, that's it for all the changes. There's a lot of programming going on, as you can see, because of all the locked doors. The BFG is you can actually buy that BFG now. This is all the variables stored over here. This is just so I can change things like very easily, the prices very easily, just from these variables if I need to. So yeah, there's a lot of them. These are all the gun upgrades, equipment prices, gun prices, vitals, blah blah blah. This is all for player start and stuff like that. This one is a spider web of a mess. These other shops are probably a little more neat. Like this one's a little more neat. This one's also probably a tiny bit more neat. But yeah, everything's bare bones right now. I have basically all the functionality I need in for the hub area. Now I can just add more waves, get some playtesting in, balance the numbers, and then finally I can set design everything and have it complete. But something I need to be careful of is that the network percentage is getting a very close to maximum, and every programming thing I add and every object I add in will accumulate to that limit. If this was just a single player mode, I wouldn't have that network limit. So hopefully, as I add more stuff, since I already have a lot of the initial stuff out of the way, as I add more things, it shouldn't accumulate as quickly, hopefully. So hopefully we're okay there, but we'll see. I might have to cut some features or cut things short at some point. But yeah, I guess we'll have to just wait and see. Now I just want to show off the functionality I'm talking about.
Activated.
So I placed some things down just for the sake. These are all just for this purpose of testing. I'm also going to do the first wave.
Lockdown initiated.
So I can show off all the shops. Where's the last guy at, huh?
Lockdown complete.
Also, for the sake of purposing, I added this thing here just so I can give myself money and test things out. So, just for the sake of showing this ammo thing off, the ammo price increasing. So we have ammo here, 250, gives global ammo. But if we were to purchase a gun, let's say Super Shoddy.
Processing. Succeeded.
The price is now at 500. This includes these weapons, but I want to show off everything else.
Online. Unlocking. Power online. Unlocking.
Just want to show this off too.
Power online. Unlocking.
Here's the upgrade station. Another thing too is, since these will spawn the weapons and not just the upgrades, the player can save up and skip these weapons and just go straight to the upgrades. And also these upgrades will not accumulate to this total, this ammo total. I might change that because of, since players can just skip those guns and go straight to these. Now we have the upgrade station. This will double health. This will double armor. This will double ammo reserves. And now all the prices should have increased respectively. Yep. Yeah, now this is definitely the prized possession. I spent a lot of time just designing this shop. I wanted it to look really good and special because these guns are quite powerful. BFG is also obtainable now finally, but it kind of just plops down, so might change that. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. I have all the functionality in the hub zone I want out of the way so I can get some more testing in and get that set design done, add more waves, add more secrets too if I have time. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the progress so far. Thank you guys for watching, and see you later.